Palestine. One of our ongoing partnerships between Clowns Without Borders is with Diyar Theatre, which is a Bethlehem-based physical theater company. And among this year of so many things we canceled, one of the tours we canceled was to be in Bethlehem this October for the Bethlehem International Performing Arts Festival. And so to celebrate the partnership, to celebrate the work we've done and hope to keep doing, we are revisiting that tour. So first, I'd love to introduce you to Osama. And Osama, will you tell us a bit about yourself? Where are you and who are you?
Hi, how are you doing? My name is Osama Awwad. Osama means the lion. And I am from Palestine, Bethlehem, and I am a volunteer with Diyar Theatre since 11 years. And I am blessed to be one of the co-founders of that theater in Bethlehem with 7 persons who created Diyar Theatre, one of the theaters, famous theaters in Bethlehem. This year, 2020, we were preparing for our second festival, but because of COVID-19 or the situation where we are, we didn't succeed. Everything shut down. But we still have hope, and we still want to do it, maybe the coming years, having more hope for everybody. I am now in doing the part of acting at Diyar Theatre and doing the projects, and also I am a drama coach, and also I am doing part of the admin things of the theater now.
The important and hard work of administration. And
Yeah.
Michael, who are you? Where are you? Uh-huh. Okay.
Hi. Hello. My name is Michael O'Neill. I'm in Portland, Oregon. So you can laugh. It's okay. It makes me feel better. Laughing is good. Yeah, I live in Portland. That makes me happy. Thank you. I live in Portland, Oregon. I've been working with Clowns Without Borders for many years. I was trying to figure it out. I think it's 18 years. I'm not sure. 17 or 18 years. I started here doing the annual fundraiser, and I've been part of that for most years for the last 18 years. And I was in Palestine last year. And what was the other question that I had to ask? What am I doing? Who am I? Yeah. Who are we right now? COVID-19. It's pretty intense. So I live on a half an acre of land and creating a low-income artist community. So if you're an artist and you're listening and you want to live in Portland for a little while, come check it out next summer. We'll have some tiny homes in the backyard and a theater lab and a maker space and a cool green space that you can hang out and, you know, all that good stuff. So, and yeah, proud to be a part of this. Thank you for asking me to be here. Love this, love this, love this.
Yay. My laughter overtakes everything. So this partnership between Clowns Without Borders and Diyar started because Clowns Without Borders has been working in Palestine for a number of years. It's a place where there is protracted displacement, which is displacement that continues. It's something that sometimes Clowns Without Borders does a tour that's in response to a specific event, and the hope or the projection is that that displacement will resolve itself quickly. Protracted displacement is any displacement that's lasting more than 5 years as is the case in Palestine. If you're watching and you're wondering why I'm saying Palestine and you're not used to hearing Palestine being said, Clowns Without Borders follows the United Nations naming conventions. So since the UN names Palestine, we do too. We follow that naming convention. And so this partnership started as much as possible. Clowns Without Borders wants to be working with artists who are from the place or the community who we're performing for. So part of that means that when we're in Palestine, we want to be working with Palestinian artists. And before a few years ago, we didn't have as many strong connections, and so the conversation with Diyar started as this question of how can we build those connections. And Diyar is primarily a dance and physical theater company, but one of the things we heard from Rami and Osama was that there wasn't as much clown training. So Osama, since you've been with us since the beginning of this partnership, could you talk a little bit about the desire for clown training and also what that's looked like?
Well, thank you for giving me the chance to talk about that, because since you join us guys, or we join you since 2 years and a half, I learned a lot about how to laugh more, how to be clown. Well, actually, I don't feel myself I am acting, but I am doing something that really makes me feel more fun, more together, and more with people, especially the kids, the audience. Well, clowning um, makes me feel that I can do anything. I can do any movement. We don't need to product or let's say to prepare something. You can do something while you are performing, and it will be funny. You can also come with new ideas on the performance that makes people laugh, and it's not acting. Clowning is something different. It's something about joy, it's something about kids, it's something about to be more close to whoever you working with, and also with the audience. All of the performance that we perform in Palestine, all of them were for kids. We visited refugee camps, we visited schools, we visited um, Bedouins, and each performance, I felt that we are just started, because it's a new experience where every audience, they are not different, they are kids, but in every audience, I felt that we let them laugh. We see the smile on faces. They don't want us to leave. They want to play with us after the performance or during the performance. They want us to be with them because they felt that we are just doing something. It's fun for them. And it was really fun for me too to do all of this. Anya, Michael, and Poki, let's say, they gave me lots of new techniques. They gave me lots of new ways to think about how to do things. And I really worked on myself to be a clown. And to be honest with you, it doesn't, it's not difficult. Everybody is a clown, and everybody can let anyone laugh or smile. So you have to take the clown from deep inside from everybody and share it with wherever, however, who is around you. You will feel like that you are doing something different.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Michael, I would love to know a little bit about your clown training and then what you chose when you and Anya were making the workshop for DR. How did you choose what you thought was most important to teach?
Oh, wow. Uh, my clown training. So I started out an actor, uh, entirely too serious for my own good, in college. Uh, uh, so very Stanislavski, very. If you know anything about acting, it's yeah. And then I started clown training in my last year of college. I met a man from Paris, France, who taught me Paris, like Parisian street clown theater, which was very intense and very passionate. And the nose was a very important part of the work. And then I went from there in 1994. I graduated from college, and then I went to Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Clown College, which had the same spirit to the core, but had a very different way of approaching what clown was. The American circus clown is big and it's broad and it's um, exuberant and loud, which is good for me because I am all those things. I am loud and broad and all the fun things that come with the Ringling circus clown. And then I had the opportunity to work with Ringling Brothers for 3 years. And I did probably the most intense training was the I did close to 2,000 shows in 3 years. And that really, that's training because you're in front of an audience. And one of my fun memories is auditioning for a part for Ringling, and somebody went in and they just came out of clown college, and we auditioned in a daycare, and he was being very big and broad because that's what he was taught, and he made every kid in the room cry because he was just too excited about it, not because he was scary. And so the person doing the audition came to me and was like, "Can you calm them down?" I was like, "Yeah." So I went in and I kind of snuck in and I did this thing with this roll of paper towels. I just unrolled the whole thing, and there was paper towels all over the room, and I'm giving them to the kids and all this stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess my time's up. And that was my audition. And I calmed down all the kids because I was just present with them. And that was a good thing to learn about clown, is that, like Osama was saying, it's not acting. It's the art of being in the space. And that was something that Anya and I spoke about to try to collaborate on how to not just talk about clown as tricks and falls and pies in the face, which is an important piece of clown. Like we did a really funny water gag in the show that we did for the tour in Palestine. But it's not just that, it's being present, and it's respecting, you know, you walk into a room with a red nose on, it changes the room. And all the kids and adults kind of go, uh-oh, what's going to happen? So if you don't find that level of trust between each other, then you're not able to do whatever you want. In clowns, if you find that trust between the audience and your fellow clowns, you can do whatever you want. It's really nice to be able to say, oh, I kind of have carte blanche with whatever happens. Like I've sucked on socks before on stage, which is disgusting, but it's funny. so Anya and I wanted to make sure that we got like the physicality of it all, because it's a physical theater that we were working with, but also the inner part of clown. Like Osama said, everybody is a clown, and I agree with that. You just have to give yourself permission to be the clown. And a lot of people don't know how to give themselves permission. So when I was in the room with the students in that first week of workshop, I was trying to just give people permission to just be there. Don't try to be funny. Just be there. And I remember there were students from the beginning of the week to the end of the week that had a really big, strong change where they stopped trying so hard and they were just being the clown, and it was just lovely to watch. And then you put the tricks on, you put the tripping, you put the water gag, but that core, finding that core, and I think Anya and I really came together on that important piece. But it's hard because when you only have a week to work with students, sometimes students get frustrated because they're like, what are we doing? We're just standing here. I'm like, yep, you're just standing there. So just try it. And they get overwhelmed with like, we have to do something. I'm like, you are. Like, look at your audience. They're all delighted by you just standing there. You know, I remember Ferris, this younger guy who he would just come out and he was so good at just being there, even though he was extremely shy. He was doing it because he was shy, but at the same time, he was being so vulnerable with the audience that everybody fell in love with Ferris. Like, we were yelling his name all the time to go up, Ferris, Ferris, Ferris. And he'd be like, okay, 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 okay. And then he'd come out and he'd do something that was just magical. And I think he taught the class as much as I did. Like, every student in the class taught the class as much as the teachers do, because little explosions of ahas would happen. So.
Thank you. And Osama, I want to know, I mean, you and Rami and the team at Diyar asked Clowns Without Borders to come, and you said, hey, I think what would be really good for our community is to have some clowning and to have some clown training. And I'd love to know why
Okay.
clowning in Palestine? And then, so that's my first question. And I'll ask another big question, because then you can choose which one you want to answer if you don't want to answer one of them. And the other question is, how was clowning received? What from your perspective?
You mean by the audience?
Yes. Yeah.
Second question. Okay, I can answer both of the questions. That's fine. Well, why we want you to be with us or to come to Palestine? Because we think there is lots of projects or small projects of clowning around Palestine, but they are not really professional, or let's say they are doing the clowning by themselves. I mean, a guy who wants to do clowning in the street, or a guy who wants to do a clowning in his theater, but there is no knowledge in that field or in that world. There is no trainings except the red noses, that what they are doing in Palestine. They have an office in Palestine too. But I mean, why we need Clowns Without Borders to be in Palestine? Because we have so many people here that they didn't reach to to the theater. When we go to them as clowns, that changed a lots of things. First time you came, guys, we did the workshop for 1 week, then we started the tour. I had so many calls from all around the cities in Palestine, that people asking us to come to their cities. They want us to perform there. This is from that I realized that people really need that thing. People here, maybe they are still living in their trauma from what we lived in the past, even from the occupation, or let's say from whatever happened in your life. But here in Palestine, we really need people to laugh. We really need to change. When you go to a refugee camp in Palestine, the whole thing that people can talk about it, which is I support also, the right to return. Also, people here in the refugee camps, they talk about lots of political stuff in the refugee camp and how they're gonna raise their children on that, let's say, thing, and to make take the lead in the future about how to save the right of return. When you go and do a clowning in the middle of the refugee camp, you do something new. You do something that makes people to go to the stage of non-linear. So when you do that, you really makes them think about, okay, there is lots of things in this life that we can do. There is lots of things in life that we can still think about and maybe try. So now I told you, people from all around Palestine, even school like Sira school, when they know that Clowns Without Borders, again, they are in Palestine, they called us. We know that you are doing some trainings. We want you to come again, because their students they have some difficulties in education. When you do the clowning for them, you make them really feel something new. They want to come to the school more and more. They want to really learn more and more. I can remember in Jericho, one of the students of that school, especially, he was not doing any interactive thing with anyone in the school or with the students, because he have lots of difficulties. So when we came to the school, this is the first time of your visit, guys, with Anya and Poki. When we came to the school, by mistake, I asked this guy to come to the circle where we do the magic trick, and the guy came. After we finish, the principal of the school, she told me that, you know, we were shocked. I told her, what happened? What's wrong? She said, this little boy, he never play with any boy or girl in this school. He only stay alone, and he never talk to anyone. Even in the class, the teacher, she worked with the whole student, and she take a part to only work with that person, with that student. When you ask him to come to the middle to play with you the magic trick, he just came. He did it. So you changed something here. You know, I was so freaking happy when she told me that. I didn't know that this boy having lots of difficulties. So I was so happy, and I called her so many times asking about him after that, actually, to see if he continued to develop himself to be with the student, to play with them, or to be interactive to be, I mean, active in the class. She said he is getting better, actually. So that's really, I'm so happy for that. The second question, can you remind me of the second question?
I don't know if I can, because now I'm crying and thinking about that. Which is, this makes me, wow. I think that maybe I don't remember the second question. And I can't talk right now. So
I think you actually answered the second question. You know,
I think so, but I want to make sure.
I think you've answered it. And Michael, I'm wondering if you have a moment of the tour that sticks out, a moment of performing or of teaching that sticks out.
After you tell us, Michael, can I show some pictures, please, of
Yeah.
the tour? Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Well, performing. One of the performances I really enjoyed was one of the students from the workshop brought us to a school that she worked at, and was it Manal? Osama, remind me. It was Manal,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And there was just something very sweet about that. I tend to like the sweetness of it all. We had some shows that like were like, whoa, pretty insane, and awesome. But then there were two shows in particular. There was Manal's show because I think the connection with the teacher really helped the students really focus and watch us, and they were just delighted. And we actually used her in the show, which made them really excited and wonderful. And then, like Osama said, they just want to hang out with us, which is one of the things that I just adore about Clowns Without Borders trips, is that the time and the what we give to them as performers and as clowns is given back like 10 times over with curiousness or love or compassion or even just a shift in the room or whatever there's just something really beautiful. But my all-time favorite moment in this performance, I have a lot of favorites that are in between performances. I just had so much fun with the crew, but we were at a very small daycare. Like the room was tiny, the kids were tiny, everything was tiny. But there was a trampoline in the corner, and Osama got into the trampoline with like 10 of the kids. And I'm standing out, and I have a couple of photos somewhere, maybe even have a video of that. I think I have a video, I don't know. But just a beautiful moment of a cacophony of children jumping on and in a trampoline on the clowns. Because who else got, Anya didn't get in, was it just you? I can't remember, but it was so beautiful to see these little children that were so intimidated by us. They didn't really know like what was going to happen or what. And then we do the show, and then at the end of the show they're in a trampoline with one of the clowns just jumping around having a good time. And that to me is like a really good example of how we can just cross barriers. Like I can't, when I'm in Palestine, I really can't speak to a lot of these students just because of the language barrier, but they still want to come talk to me, which is super sweet. And I think that's why I love clowns so much. I think it's like, I mean, it really has no borders. I mean, that is a real true reality of what we do. So that's a couple of memories of performances, but non-performances is, Anya on a donkey, which is totally awesome. So.
And Osama, we're gonna have you share some photos. If anyone who's watching on Facebook Live has any questions, feel free to type them into the comments, and we'll talk about them. And now, Osama, I'd love to see some of the photos. You should have permission to screen share, I think.
Yeah, so here, so share screen. Okay.
Yeah, there it is, donkey. Thank you.
So this picture where we stopped on the way, and we saw to stop because it's a long way. Want to take a break, so we were looking for animals like sheep or donkeys so we can take pictures with. So Anya got into the donkey with Michael. I found two small puppies on the. Can you see them? The puppies. I can show you the trampoline, but I don't have pictures of me jumping on the trampolines because they took them from another phone. Or here's the trampoline on the back. Can you see it? So at the end of the show, all of these kids were jumping with us on the trampoline. Some of the moments here, like this one, this picture is one of the refugee camps, and here is more than 300 children. We've been late on this show 45 minutes. because it's a village in Ramallah, and this is my first time I drive there. At the end of when we reached to there, they told us, you have 2 minutes to change and to start your performance because the children since
That
one
was
hour.
an amazing show because the sun was setting, the color was beautiful. Oh, the kids were incredibly riled up. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And I would like to say hi to Ahmed, this guy who worked with us as well. And he was really wonderful. Here is another school. This school is a deaf school. So here we tried to make more movements, more body language, because most of these children, they are deaf, so they can by the movement understand more what we are doing, and we had lots of fun with them. Here, look how many person. Here is Michael. Here is the children doing the ball on the stick. Here is some of them as well. We here stand on the suitcase. Also here, this is a church in Zababda in Jenin. We performed in the church. They moved the altar. They moved the altar in the middle here where the suitcase supposed to be an altar. They moved it and we performed in the church. It was so much fun that all of these people, and here in Palestine, it's hard for them to believe that we can use the church for something else. I mean, we can use it for performance, we can use it for a community, but it was, I was so happy that they let us perform in the church because, yeah, we can use it for something also good. Um, oh no,
Oh, the bar.
this is part of the performance in Diyar Theatre. This is the creative, this space, we call it the creative space, that any artist or any student can come and do something creative.
So as we're looking at these photos, I'm seeing kids sitting close together. I'm remembering what it feels like to be in a crowd and watching a show. And um I'm wondering how I know that Osama, we talked a little bit and did the online workshop while you were in quarantine, and Michael, we've talked a bit, and I'm wondering how um, how you've been impacted by COVID-19 and also how you're finding resilience.
Michael, you can start if you would like.
Okay, and Osama, I'm gonna stop the screen share so we can see Michael again, okay?
Sure.
Okay, and Michael, it's back to you.
Uh, Resilience. That is a really interesting word these days. Yeah. I have found that um, human interaction is really important for me. I mean, I think it's important for everybody. Hugging, um, personal touch, holding hands, those things is very important to me. And that's been a difficult road because of the separation and this and that. And I live alone in a tiny home, which is totally awesome. Love it. But that's been a really interesting thing to work with. So I have had the opportunity back in September 5th. I was on a circus. I was actually in a circus. It was a live streaming 3-camera shoot circus called Bernardo's Circus. And it was so fun that I hadn't really realized how much I missed clowning. I love clowning, but also being in proximity of people that do circus and clown and physical work. And since that day, I've been trying to make sure that I give myself opportunities to play. I have a studio, and I've been trying to get in there more and just play. And I'm trying to create new work, even if it's not going to go out into the world. But stay in tuned to that. So that's where my resilience is starting to come back, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, it's been hard for everybody. It's been a weird time, and seeing those pictures just brings back a lot of memories. And I try to explain to people, and I think a lot of people that are passionate about something they do have these feelings, but I try to explain to people how important Clowns Without Borders and clowning and performing is to me. And I always want to just keep talking. One, because I talk a lot. And two, because I never think they really understand how important it is to me. And so these last 7 months it's become even more important to figure out how to get back to it, whether it's live streaming or just doing videos and putting them out there, or just playing. Like, I take care of my cousin's 4-year-old every week for a day, and like just playing with her and making her laugh, because she's 4, so she has no inhibitions. When she laughs, it's explosive. Yes, and it's beautiful. So yeah, to be quite honest, my resilience hasn't been very good, but I'm feeling better now and trying to get more in tune to what I need and how to get it. And some of that is to go into the studio and play. Like today, I got to put on my red nose and just do something silly with a coffee cup. I love doing that kind of thing, and I haven't, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Take a breath.
And Osama, how have you been? How have you been staying resilient? Yeah.
Well, actually, we tried to stay strong. I can share also something, as Michael said. There is some people when you after the quarantine, when so long time you didn't see them, the first thing you want to do is hug them because it's a long time you don't see them. It's somehow feeling inside you that you can control it. And what happened during that time, that now even some rules in the whole world is changing to a different situation where people only can say hi from abroad, from a distance, I mean. And that's until now, I don't understand it, because I really want to say hi to some people or to hug them or even to kiss them, because it's a long time and I really miss them. Also in theater, I am now doing a project with my colleague Emil. It's called طاقطقية. It's a kids program show or TV program show, but we show it on social media. We are very careful in what we are doing because of coronavirus. We keep distance. We will try, because kids, when they see you, they learn from you, and if you teach them something wrong, you will face a big problem. And also, people on social media, they can easily be a judge. They can judge anything you never notice about, you never mean it. that they can judge it. Um, and in the first 2 or 3 episodes, we had lots of comments. You have to do this because children will learn about that more and more and more. So we are now very, very careful of what we are writing and what sketches we are doing on social media, because it's really different, or it's really important. Now theater is facing, let's say, problems with getting back the students, especially the drama students or the dabka dancing students or the choreography students, to the theater, because we are still not allowed to bring a big group of people together in one space and teach them something. That's really, I mean, you can't dance while there is a mask on your face. You want to breathe, you want to move, you want to, and that's really a hard time for my theater. And yes, we have to tell people, we have to talk to people about um, art and artists and actresses, actors and actresses, because they are facing a very hard time during the COVID-19 time. You have to stand with that part, because it's important. I mean, everybody should stand with that part because it's very important. I know lots of artists that they are really having a hard time to keep going because of the situation. So we have to stand with each other. We have to support each other in different ways, because I think um, um, it's gonna take long, not like what Obama said, no, what Trump said by November it will go, but we hope so. We hope so. If if that really will happen, I will be the first person who will be so happy for that. But I think it will take longer than that, and that's why we have to stand with that part, the art part, and the artists in general.
Thank you. I'm putting us all together so that hopefully we're all being seen. And I want to end on a silly note. So I'm wondering, I want to introduce your clowns to our audience. Whoever your clown is now. I think my clown is a little confused of who I am in the time of COVID, but I'd love to know who who is your clown, Michael?
So many answers. Who is my clown? Uh, yeah, well, I'm working on a new clown. I've done high status in my life, but the high status that I've done after taking a moment and looking back at it, it's always been kind of a classist high status. So it's been like the foreman of the construction site or something. So I'm working on a new clown and a new project, and I have 3 people in Portland working on it. It's it's a white privilege clown. So it's a high status white privilege clown. That's my new project. And basically what I'm doing is I'm creating a character to show a spotlight on the people in the world that don't believe white privilege exists. And the reason I'm doing it with clown is because I feel like there's a door that can be opened with clown that isn't necessary. Like if I go on video and I start talking about white privilege, it's like nobody's going to listen to me. But if I trick them into watching because it's funny or interesting to look at, and then they go, "Oh wait, what was that?" So I have some people of color here in Portland working with me, and so that's one of the clowns that I'm working on. And that's the thing with me with clown, is that everybody has lots of different clowns depending on the setting. in today's setting, because of the Black Lives Matter movement and because of so much human rights oppression in the world, it's time for me, Michael O'Neill, a very privileged American man, to maybe show a spotlight on that. And so this is the first time I've said it out loud in a public forum. So I guess now I have to go really do it, which I'm planning on doing. But clown comes in very, very different forms. And when I go on a Clowns Without Borders trip, my clown is, I try to tend towards more the innocent, the playful, the lovely. I'm a big round guy. And in a lot of places that I go, they look at me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so fat." And I'm like, "Yep." And they just want to touch my belly. And so yeah, there's lots of different things when it comes to clown. But that's the clown that's in my brain right now. And hopefully we'll be able to put it in my heart and soul and put it out into the world, and, you know, maybe start a conversation that is really needed around people that get very offended or defensive around that subject. So.
Oh, well, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet or to see that clown.
I could show you the shoes. I
Uh,
have the.
Osama, who is your clown? What does your clown like to do?
Well, during the COVID-19, I developed also an idea about Mr. Sugar. This is a clown called Mr. Sugar, who is always holding a newspaper and he creates something from that newspaper. Sometimes the newspaper became a ball, sometimes became a jacket, sometimes. So I play with the newspaper, or at the same time, I give newspaper to each audience that they can do the same movements that I am doing, so they can feel that they are part of the clown. So I'm still developing it. It's not ready yet, but this is my new clown.
Thank you. And thank you both for I know, Osama, you have to go. But thank you both for being here. Facebook Live audience, thank you for watching. It's really exciting to have a chance to revisit the tour, to see, you know, a year later, what is it that we're still really thinking about and feeling. And I'm really happy to be continuing this conversation with both of you and learning how laughing continues to matter, how we're shifting how we think about our work in these moments. So I'm gonna let you each wave goodbye, say goodbye, and then we'll end.
Okay, so I would like to say that mine is upstairs. Mine is upstairs. I have a picture of it actually. How I will say goodbye. I will say that we hope so. Clowns Without Borders USA and Palestine will keep going their wonderful work together next year here in Palestine, and I hope so that we will make more and more kids and people smiling. I will say goodbye with lots of stuff. Can you hear me? Hello? Yes. Oh, he hit his phone. Okay. So yeah, thank you for giving me the chance to speak about that, and thank you for watching that, guys. And it's a wonderful time together. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Michael?
you very much too.
Thank you, Facebook Live, and we'll be back next week. We'll be talking about joy as resistance with Samantha Holdsworth from Clowns Without Borders UK.